I'm Sherry Boston, DeKalb County District Attorney. Thank you so much for joining us today. I stand here with several of my law enforcement partners to announce the identification and arrest of an alleged serial rapist linked to 8 sexual assault cold case crimes throughout the metro area, 5 of which are here in DeKalb County. On February 24th of 2020, the fugitive and canine units of the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office, with assistance from the Rockdale Sheriff's Office, executed a warrant for the arrest of 58-year-old Wesley Cooley on a single count of rape. After briefly attempting to flee, Cooley was taken into custody near his home in Conyers, Georgia, without further incident. He is currently being housed in the DeKalb County Jail and remains there without bond. Today, a dangerous predator, whom we believe has been terrorizing women for at least 2 decades, is off the streets. The charge against Cooley stems from the April 2017 rape of a female victim along North Lake Parkway in Tucker. He was identified as a suspect in February of 2020 following a positive DNA match. Further investigation reveals that the DNA evidence from the 2017 crime also links the same attacker to 7 other unsolved sexual assault cases, including 4 in DeKalb, 2 in Atlanta, and 1 in Conyers, as outlined by this map to my left. Those crimes span a period of more than 20 years, dating back to 1999. The victims range in age from 15 to 38 at the time of the offenses. Due to the ongoing nature of this investigation, we will refrain from offering case specifics, but I would like to take this moment to discuss the collaborative efforts that have brought us here today. The identification of this suspect is due entirely to good old-fashioned detective work led by the hard-working investigators assigned to the Georgia Sexual Assault Kit Initiative Task Force, or SAKI as we commonly refer to it. The SAKI Task Force was created in partnership with the Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council in 2018 as part of a multi-year, multi-million-dollar federal grant under the National Sexual Assault Kit Initiative. The SAKI team consists of prosecutors, investigators, and victim advocates from the DeKalb County District Attorney's Office, the Cobb County District Attorney's Office under the leadership of DA Joyette Holmes, the Atlanta Police Department led by Chief Erica Shields, the Prosecuting Attorney's Council led by Executive Director Pete Scandalakis, and the Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council under the direction of Executive Director Jay Neal. Thanks to the dedicated efforts of our partnership, we are able to collaboratively solve crimes and bring justice and a measure of closure to victims and their loved ones. The arrest of Wesley Cooley is just one success, but there are many others on the horizon. At this time, I'd like to ask Jay Neal, the Executive Director of the Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, to come forward to talk more about our SAKI work.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. I am Jay Neal, Executive Director of the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, or CJCC. And in 2015, we received funding to test the backlog sexual assault kits. As a result of those tests of the backlog kits, we were able to identify a number of cases where there was either CODIS profile or even CODIS hits. We recognized the need to be able to investigate and prosecute those code cases. So we went after additional funding, and we received the funds to set up the SAKI task force that the district attorney has just referred to. That is a partnership with the Prosecuting Attorneys Council and Atlanta Police Department, DeKalb and Cobb County District Attorney's offices, and additionally the Sexual Assault Response Team State Expert Committee, which is a multidisciplinary group that's comprised of numerous local and state individuals, and we certainly appreciate those partners that are part of that. As the lead agency in this initiative, CJCC hired an experienced coordinator, Rodney Demery, task force assistant Emma Wolf, and code case consultant and criminal profiler Keith Howard. And the grant is overseen by CJCC's Amy Hutzel. The task force serves as a statewide resource in partnership with the Prosecuting Attorneys Council by providing investigative and prosecutorial expertise in cold cases. In 2019, we received additional funding to allow the scope of this project to expand. We are now including state aiding jurisdictions around the state in investigating genetic testing of cold case homicides that have a sexual assault component, and additionally unidentified serial sexual assault cases. The task force has been fully operational for just over a year, and in that short period of time, we now have 21 open indictments, and we now have 8 convictions as a result of the work of this task force. Some amazing results. So a lot of hard work. This doesn't come easily. A lot of hard work by a lot of people working together to make this happen. Through this partnership, we're building our capacity statewide to achieve justice for victims and for their families, those victims of violent crime, while increasing safeties within our communities. This task force has proven that the public good can be done by victim-centered, multidisciplinary, collaborative approach. I think that's critical to the success of this project. And it's an important project that sends a very strong message and a very important message to our victims. And that message is this: you have not been forgotten, and Georgia will stand with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the ardent support of State Representative Scott Holcomb and his efforts to advocate for the work of the Psaki Task Force. He could not be here today, but he has made the eradication of backlogged sexual assault kits a priority in our state, and I am thankful for his advocacy. I'm also very thankful for the GBI's commitment to this work. From the start, Director Vic Reynolds and his team have gone above and beyond to support our investigations by testing backlog kits in a manner that is both expeditious and efficient, and we are grateful for their hard work. Now let's take a moment to recognize and thank the Psaki team members who've worked tirelessly to put together the pieces of the puzzle that led to the identification and arrest of Wesley Cooley. To my right, Investigator Crispin Henry, assigned to Psaki by our office, and Shailene Gilliam-Smith, assigned to Psaki by the Atlanta Police Department under Chief Erica Shields. They were the dynamic forces behind this operation. Crispin and Shailene, in tandem with Detective Tiradito with the DeKalb County Police Department and Stacy Kelly, investigative analyst with the Conyers Police Department, resolved to not only solve the 2017 case, but to revive the cold cases they believed were also connected. Both of those agencies are represented here today by the leadership of Chief Martha Ramos and Lieutenant Kim Lucas, standing for Conyers Chief Gene Wilson. Thank you so much. The dogged determination of this team, along with gut instincts, as I mentioned earlier, good old-fashioned police work led to this positive outcome. While we are proud of the work of our team and relieved that their efforts have led to the capture of a dangerous predator, we recognize that today is bigger than them, and it's bigger than him. Today is about the victims on whose behalf we advocate. Victims who for too long have been marginalized, not believed, forgotten, and hidden in the shadows. Today we say, we see you. We will continue to fight for you, to seek answers and justice on your behalf, no matter how long it takes. The Saki Task Force is committed to this work and to you, and we have only just begun. To that end, we are asking you, the public, to take a close look at these bookend photos of Wesley Cooley from over the years. Our investigation leads us to believe his crimes may be more extensive than currently known, and that there may, in fact, be more victims. It should be noted that Mr. Cooley faces a separate charge of criminal attempt to commit a felony for an alleged attempted sexual assault of a female in Lithonia in October of 2017, and that case is pending indictment. We are asking anyone who believes that they may have been victimized by this individual to call the Day League's 24-hour crisis hotline. That number is 404-377-1428. Counselors are on standby to assist and can forward information to law enforcement. Again, that number is 404-377-1428. Thank you so much for coming today. We appreciate your time. And now we'll open the floor for a few questions. Yes.
As you put these cases together, these are previous arrest photos of
Yes.
his? So was it the lack of funding you weren't able to test the sample, or there wasn't a big enough sample to test? So like in 2001, you couldn't have connected him to earlier cases?
Well, I don't want to get into too many specifics on how we apprehended Mr. Cooley at this point, but what I can tell you is that it took a lot of work to identify Mr. Cooley from that DNA sample.
How you guys like some spread up on Fox Atlanta? Just want to ask, what did the reactions when you told the victims of his arrest?
We have reached out to all the alleged victims in the cases that we've connected to him thus far to let them know that we've apprehended Mr. Cooley, that we believe that he is the person involved, and that we intend to proceed with prosecution, and that there will be an opportunity for their voices to be heard as we move forward through this process.
How vital do you think it is to have the resources and the money to test these kits? Because when we hear about these arrests, I mean, this is spanning back 2 decades. For these victims to finally get justice must just feel so powerful.
I can say unequivocally, if we had not had this Saki Task Force funded and supported nationally and by CJCC, we would have not been able to seek justice on behalf of all of these victims and the victims that we may continue to find. And we know that Mr. Cooley is an alleged serial rapist. He was a dangerous predator that was still on the streets in Georgia. And we're glad that this opportunity means that we can put him where he belongs.
Where were these kits stored for all these years?
Well, keep in mind this case is a little bit different. These kits, those kits had been identified. There was just no identifiable suspect. We were able to put together that profile.
I see what you're saying.
Were these arrests in DeKalb or?
What I can say right now is that these are bookend photos of Mr. Cooley over the years. I can't tell you specifically where they were.
Are you guys looking for any other suspects that helped Mr. Cooley on the run or something like that, or whatnot?
We have no reason to believe that there were any accomplices in these crimes that we have arrested Mr. Cooley for. We believe at this time that he did this alone.
Can you tell, just for people who may be wondering if this is someone someone from their past that they might want to call about, where does he work? What's he do? I mean, where does he go? What can you tell us about him?
I can't give you any more information than we already have given you. Mr. Cooley is a resident of DeKalb County. Again, we have these photos that show his different ages because, again, we know that the assaults date back 2 decades, and so we wanted to give people an opportunity to perhaps see him in different stages of life.
And what you guys got to say about different people who want to call and do the same thing, the heinous crimes that Mr. Cooley did? What's your message to them?
My message is that the Saki Task Force is coming for you. We have a dedicated group of law enforcement partners all standing with me, working together, because we know crime knows no boundary and no line. And although my jurisdiction ends here in DeKalb, I know I've got Cobb here to support me. I know I've got Atlanta here to support me. I know that I have Conyers here to support me. And we're here to tell you that we're talking, we're working together, we're speaking to each other, we're sharing resources, and we are making sure that we are going to rid our streets of sexual predators. All right. Thank you so much for coming here today, and thank you so much for sending the strong message out to the viewing public about the great work that this Saki team is doing. Thank you.